I'm autistic and slow at the same time. Force is strong with me. Howdy and welcome to Yusef's GR86. Very happy that I actually get to drive this car because every time he comes to the track, sweet America, I have been dying to drive a stock 86 because y'all have seen that car, which is absolutely phenomenal. I got to be very mindful. That sounds so good. Got to be very mindful of the oil temperatures. Quick story time. I was looking at one of these and the Miata. I just didn't want to deal with the oil temp issues and the oil issues, or else I would have been in one of these. And I hear that they're way more hardcore than a Miata, not as playful, way more daily drivable though. Woo! Traction control still kind of on. All right, so right away, that low-end torque, the engine feels a lot less reluctant to go than the previous version of the 86. Chassis is taut. Chassis is real taut, real nice. Wow. Very manageable. Very tossable chassis, and Yusef said that these tires are not like the best tires. Ooh, a little bit of push understeer. I know I'm being kind of a jerk, but I'm just trying to feel out, you know, grip levels. Sorry for the wind buffeting. This chassis is so good. It's just talking the whole time. And the suspension is good because Yusef, this is not the stock suspension. This is a little dialed in. So Yusef has already taken liberty of modifying the car. I would have liked to drive a stock one, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I need to find out how to turn off traction completely. I'm not going to keep doing that. Sorry, Yusef, if you see this. I'm trying to find grip limits. Grip limits. But I have wanted to drive one of these stock, but this is pretty much stock. And boy, oh boy, is this a great car. The gearing is fairly short. I actually did not mean to toss it in like that. I just wanted to do that. So the gearing is fairly short. I like it. Really quick. Shifter is fantastic. Shifter feels real good. It's not as good as the Miata or an S2000, but hey, it's better than a BMW, and I'll say that. And you can keep on modulating steering mid-corner. Like, it's like, okay, you've taken your set in a corner, right? You've set up, and then if you want a little bit more rotation, yeah, go for it. Heel towing is fantastic. I don't know if these pedals are aftermarket, but it's very, very good. Very close together. Like I said, I'm not really like revving it out because like I don't want to upset this motor in the oil. Just gotta keep an eye on the oil temps. To slow down a little bit more for that corner. I'm just so enamored by this chassis because the capability is, you can absolutely feel the capability of this chassis. And that is all I want to do in this car. I'm looking at oil temps and it's saying 91 degrees, which kind of weirds me out, to be honest. Really weirds me out. Yeah, oil temps aren't too bad. They are higher than I want it to be. I'm backing off right now. Steering's fantastic. Like, I am able to chuck the car in and just do dumb things with this. And it's such a good car. Like, everything's so good about this car. The chassis, the steering, the grip levels, the suspension. Obviously, I haven't driven a stock one. Drove one that's extremely modded and one that's like, this is stock plus. We can call this stock plus. Motor's great, except for the whole overheating and oil consumption issues and all that good stuff. Like, that's just fun because the chassis is neutral steer. Like, it is four-wheel steering, and I'm not uncomfortable. If I was doing that in the Miata, I'd be uncomfortable. Well, because, you know, the suspension is not like the best in that car stock because there's so much roll. This is such a phenomenal platform to work with, and I see why it's such a popular car, because it's just such a great platform. Is it better than a Miata? Yes. This car, hey, I'm saying this right now, this car is better than a Miata, and I would have loved to have this car if I can go back in time and say, okay, cool, let's do that and get one of these instead of the Miata, but the pricing was a little high. And also there was the whole fiasco with that one person that went to the track, blew his motor, and Toyota's like, no, you were driving it on the track. No, absolutely not. It wasn't the tires this time going over a certain mile per hour like the GR Corolla, but still, it's like, guys, Toyota, pull your heads out of your asses. And I know all I need to do is get an oil cooler, but I wanted something with warranty and something I didn't need to care about and just go. The thing is, the Mazda engineers were like, hey, let's make a motor that can handle like over, 1.2 G-force, which is great. This motor, I'm sure it does fine, but it does have oil starvation issues. I think on sweepers. Here goes Scott in a sweeper. Check this shit out. That shit is so tight, dude. I applaud Toyota and all these manufacturers still making cars like this, because sub 40,000 cars that are driver focused, this is what we need. This is what we need. And we are at the precipice of going to everything hybrid or electric. And we really, really need to live in the moment. And you really need to take a look at what's out there right now. And you really need to appreciate it right now. You've got to appreciate the stuff right now. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, you have to appreciate these cars that we have right now, because they're going to go away. I want one of these cars now. So comfy too. I have a lot of headroom. I'm 5'11", I'm in a helmet, and I still have more headroom. Like, this is made for much taller people. No backseat, whatever. Big, big, big fan of this car. Neptune Blue 2.0. What a good color. So much fun. Love it. Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. Now that you're here, if you had taken a shot every time I said the word chassis in this episode, you would probably be on the way to the hospital in an ambulance to get your stomach pumped, and I'm so sorry. With that, let's dive into the GR86. I cannot stress enough how good this chassis is. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that there. I've already heard my praise. The FA24 is a great motor. I didn't push it, as you may notice. I didn't really redline it a whole lot because honestly, I was nervous of that engine and the oil temperatures. It was a hotter day and I just didn't want to blow up my friend's engine, because if I break it, I buy it. But I will address something I did say in my GR86 video of Canoe's GR86, where I said there wasn't a whole lot of low-end torque. I don't know what I was smoking that day. This day, I did realize that the engine has plenty of torque, plenty of mid-range torque to play with, to where I didn't have to rev it out completely to get satisfaction. It's not as anemic as the FA20. The FA24, amazing, amazing motor, just plagued with a few issues. All you have to do really to get around the oil pressure drop is to overfill it by another quart, and that's what all my GR86 buddies do. Haven't had a problem since. If you're taking the car to the track, I would recommend getting an oil cooler. The transmission's great as well, very deliberate shifts. The clutch pedal itself was stiff, very good bounce back, very good engagement. There was no spot to where I didn't know where exactly the engagement point was. The pedals in the pedal box are really nicely spaced to where I could do a nice heel and toe downshift, and it felt really good. That engine with the flywheel combination revs really nicely and will catch as you are coming down into a corner under braking. The LSD, very good. I like the LSD quite a bit. The gearing, I believe, on this car is shorter. Felt very nice and race car-like. It's probably why it doesn't get really good gas mileage, to be honest. The suspension, Youssef's GR, has coilovers installed and an aggressive alignment dialed in. With that suspension setup was perfect. If you wanted to do slides, you can totally do that. Felt very controlled, very compliant. It also had this tendency of neutral steer to where you have pretty much four-wheel slides and you can just kind of chuck it into a corner and deliberately say, okay, I want to go there, and you will be there. The brakes were also really good. However, again, I wasn't really pushing the car very much past 7/10, but I hear good things about the braking system on these cars to where pretty much you just have to do a high temp brake fluid flush and you're good to track. Let's talk about the steering. EPS. Some of the best EPS I have felt on a car. Absolutely dumpsters on the ND Miata's EPS. Usually with newer cars nowadays, you have to drive with the chassis. The steering is more of just, hey, here's a frame of reference of where the car is going to go, where it might end up. With this, full communication, good feel, and that's a huge testament to the engineering of the EPS on this. So how does everything boil down? This is a true blue, haha, get it, Neptune blue, sorry, sports car. Everything communicated. I knew exactly what was going on the whole time. Makes for a very welcoming, very predictable drive. If you're newer to sports cars or you want something to learn on, you want to actually up your level, whether that be an autocross, doing some toge runs, or actually getting it on the track, this is the perfect basis for you. This is probably the best starter sports car you can get anywhere right now in the market. And I will stand by saying that it's better than the ND Miata. I know they're not really in the same bracket, but same price range. I mean in the sense of going to the track and learning from it. With the ND Miata, it will make you a better driver, whereas the GR86 will tend to hide tendencies that you may have that may not be the best for track driving, which is a testament to, again, how good that car is. Let's go ahead and put the GR86 into the tier list. I'm gonna go ahead and place it into B tier. It's a very good car, very well balanced, very well sorted. It felt like a 50-50 weight distributed car. It felt like a freaking go-kart, man. Like that's the best way to put it. This car feels like a go-kart. I was so enamored and still am. I was having an existential crisis myself saying, did I buy the right car? I don't know, I might want to trade in the ND Miata, but I'm like, wait a second, don't do that. I went for literally 2 weeks trying to go back and forth between, okay, the ND Miata has double wishbone suspension. ND Miata has a better sound system. I daily this car, but it's like, oh, well, the GR86 has more room, has more torque, but it's like the Miata has better gas mileage. And I started going off on this whole spiral. And I'll have to do a video to where I feel like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's on the board, losing his mind. That's how I felt after I drove the GR86. The dust has settled. I've come to my senses. I've already chosen a platform. I'm gonna stick to it, hopefully. It's such a silly problem to have. We are in a golden age of new sports cars. I don't think it's gonna get any better from here because everyone's taking away manuals, everyone's going to hybrid. But at the end of the day, it's a good market to be in right now. Car prices are going down. Whatever way you choose, you're gonna be very happy. I have been daily driving a Miata for over a decade now. I have never needed more than what my means are, if that makes any sense. So you wanna really look at all aspects of your life and decide, hey, can I actually daily drive this? Miata's kind of a step up from a motorcycle. GR86 is everything you can fit in, spare tires if you're going to the track, probably 2x4s from Home Depot. Awesome. I don't need to do all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Again, appreciate what we have. Thank you so much for getting this far. I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts on the GR86 in the comments if you would take that over an ND Miata. I want to see some chaos in my comments. I want to see the Miata people come out and go against the Twins people. But at the end of the day, we're all the smart people because we have these cars. It's a good time to be alive and enjoy sports cars. Until next time, bye!